Welcome back to our We Seek Summits channel. Today we are moving on in our essential oil spotlight A to Ylang Ylang with cardamom, and it's this beautiful little seed pod. Interesting, we didn't know that it's part of the ginger family. So you think of ginger as really good for respiration and for digestion. Well, cardamom is, we're going to find out, is also good for those things as well. So since we're talking about cardamom, it is sourced in Guatemala, although one of the really neat things about it is that it is a worldwide spice, so you can use it in a lot of different flavors and cuisines. But it's kind of a neat sourcing story about the Guatemalan cardamom.
Yeah, I kind of first got introduced to cardamom through like chai spices and kind of Asian flavors, so it was interesting to find out that doTERRA, or the number one export of Guatemala, is cardamom. You think of Guatemala, maybe coffee. Coffee is the second largest export. Cardamom is first, and the farmers there were just having a lot of trouble getting a fair price. So doTERRA has actually set up a distillery there in Guatemala, brought in all this equipment from Europe, set up a distillery, has worked with the farmers, sourcing directly, able to pay them a fair price.
Fair wage, yes.
And they distill that beautiful cardamom oil right there in Guatemala. So there's a great sourcing video put out by doTERRA on this, and I'll link it in the description so y'all can check it out too.
And an additional neat fact they just announced at the 2018 convention, Guatemala just saw the recent 2018 explosion of the Volcano del Fuego. And the cardamom factory was right, or the distillation factory was right there, and that didn't get damaged, but is an additional way to try and provide their workers, doTERRA's workers there, additional income. They've started harvesting pink pepper from Peru, and they're now distilling it there. So it's a great way to continue to foster the economy there and help them rebound from the devastation of the volcano.
Yeah.
So I love that co-impact sourcing is what they call that partnership there. Okay, so getting into the nitty-gritty of cardamom, tell us about the chemistry.
Yeah, so they take the seed pods like Jesse showed up, and those are actually what they steam distill to make this essential oil. And there's kind of two main chemical constituents of interest here. We got esters, and the main ester is called terpentyl acetate. And that's what gives it the nose of cardamom. So it has a very distinctive floral aroma, a very pleasant aroma, I think.
Yes, it's very spicy but floral at the same time. It really hits that. It's very powerful, not quite overwhelming, but it definitely hits you with a whoa, this is cardamom. It's very distinct.
So that's from that ester, or all the esters, kind of responsible for its fragrance. But then the other one is a molecule that's actually extremely common in the plant kingdom called cineol. Now this molecule is called an oxide, and it's a little different. So normally we talk about ketones, esters, alcohols, carboxylic acids are kind of chemical or functional groups within organic chemistry that are pretty common. We don't talk a lot about oxides.
Are there a lot of oxides in essential oils, or are they in other plants?
No, really, Roman chamomile is exceptional in that it's the highest oxide content of all, and the most diverse oxide content of all the essential oils, so we'll get there
when we get
in
to
a while.
chamomile.
But this cineol is common in a lot of plants, and they usually just have this one oxide. So what an oxide is, it's an oxygen, and it's bonded to two carbons, and then those carbons are somehow bonded, so it kind of forms this triangle. And so what happens is oxygen has a lot of electrons on it. So if you think about it, you've got this base molecule, organic molecule, and this oxygen kind of sitting up here like a triangle with all this electron density, super reactive, and loves to go in and destroy bacteria. So you'll find out that cardamom is a very good antibacterial essential oil because of that oxide group.
It's definitely one for diffusing. If you're wanting to kind of purify and cleanse the air, it sounds like this would be a great one to use for that.
Yeah. So, and it's a little, it's also referred to as eucalyptol or cajputol. I'm not saying that right, but it's actually eucalyptol, eucalyptus. So there's various species of eucalyptus oil, very high in the cineol, and then tea tree is the other one. So if you kind of think in your mind, hey, I've probably heard about melaleuca and eucalyptus being very cleansing and
good for the respiration and stuff. So
same thing.
You're
for
saying
cardamom.
it's another one to add in there.
That's right. So so that's really where it comes. So you get the fragrance for cooking, and then you get the anti-bacterial, respiratory properties as well from cardamom.
Huh, that's
Cardamon's
cool.
chemistry. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any special properties to it, or is that kind of its big wow?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's special properties, if you want to call it that, is just how well it lends itself to culinary concoctions. Kind of as we step through these oils, I think this is the first one we're coming to that's really probably used for its digestive health and can be used in a lot of cooking. I mean, you can make, I think you were looking up, you can make chocolate truffles that are...
Yeah, oh my gosh, because I was looking this up and I came across a recipe for, it's an avocado base instead of a regular cream ganache, and it's a chocolate cardamom truffle. And I mean, I don't know if y'all know, but I was trained as a pastry chef and I love these. I don't get to do them very often, but I'm like, we might need to experiment with some cardamom truffles just for y'all's sake. Just because that's what we do.
And I'll eat them.
Yeah. Because we experiment for you guys. That's how much we love you. So yeah, I might need to try that. But tell you about culinary. So even though this is a very potent and pungent spice, it blends so well with others. So again, it's from Guatemala, so it can kind of go with Latin flavors, so like a drop in with a mixture of those. Also, he mentioned it's mostly known as one of the spices in chai, in the chai tea spice. And so it lends itself very well to very flavorful Indian and Pakistani cuisines as well, and kind of those Southern Asian cuisines. Also, I know it, and I love it particularly the way it goes with kind of other Turkish flavors and sort of the Eastern Mediterranean. So I think apricot, and I think pistachio, and I think cardamom. And I made some shortbread cookies before that are delicious, that are cardamom and pistachio, or those three go really well together. So you can really play with this. And what I would definitely recommend is, because it is so pungent and distinct, is use it in a blend with some others. And kind of, playing with flavors.
Maybe more on the sweet side than the savory.
Actually, I think it goes really well for both, because it is a little bit floral, but it's a little bit spicy. So you could really do a lot of savory dishes and a lot of sweet dishes. But just knowing that kind of one of those, a little drop goes a long way, because it could easily overpower your recipe. So if you're when you watch the cooking videos, we'll get to do them, because we'll start doing some on cardamom, because I'm all inspired now. So yeah, start off with a little bit, and then you can always add as you experiment.
Yeah, so cardamom also, it's a very mild oil, so this one is safe to use neat any way that you want, topically, internally, or aromatically. Also, kind of reading through this, it's a great bath oil. So we'll kind of, how about you jump into why the emotional therapy and breathing cardamom might play well into a bath.
Yeah, so we've talked before about how the aromatherapy, and actually I've been listening to Danielle Daniels talking about aroma psychology, and really this is now being opened up as this whole new area of psychology and psychotherapy is using the aromatherapy for it, because it has such powerful effects on our emotional balance and well-being. And so doing things like taking a calming bath and using a specific oil to help calm the nervous system, calm the body and all that. So in that sense, cardamom is really great for grounding and balancing and soothing and all those things as well. So you could totally try it paired in a bath. For the emotional side specifically, what cardamom is used for is overcoming tendencies to get easily frustrated. If that makes sense. As I was reading this, we were thinking of our sweet children, and kind of that quick to anger, easily frustrated, easily discouraged, or sort of allowing the anger and frustration to completely consume, in the moment, not easily able to exercise self-control.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an oil emotionally that's used to help reinforce self-control and get those emotions back under control and counter anger. Yes.
Exactly. So this one would be used mood-wise for sure in that respect. Easily frustrated. Oh, and to also allow for some more objectivity. Sort of like a quick to judge, quick to anger. So to help you to step back a little bit and be a little bit more objective of other people in the situation. This would be a great one to use. Like you said, Dom said it's safe to apply neat, so you could just do a little dab here, or have fun making a blend with it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and talk about blending notes as well. So when I first got I had a bottle of cardamom because it was one I added on to an order. And then doTERRA had this fantastic promotion that cardamom was added to the Breathe blend because it's so great for respiratory health. So they did this great promotion where they send you Breathe and all these other Breathe products and cardamom. So I got 2 of them because I cashed in on the deal twice, which is amazing. And then I had 3 bottles of cardamom, and I'm like, what am I going to do with all this cardamom? So that was the first time that I opened up my my Modern Essentials book and started looking at it and really began trying to create my own blends. I was like, okay, cardamom, what am I going to do with it? And so I went and opened it up and was reading about what it did, and it was saying that it is a personifier and a modifier, and I'm like, what are those? Well, that kind of means that it's the more distinct sense, so it personifies, so it's kind of the first note that's going to hit you in a blend, and then as we talked about before, that like you had those initial notes, and then you have the more ones that kind of hold the flavor together, and then you have the base notes that just sort of ground the blend and last a little bit longer. So this one's going to be one of the first ones that you smell in a blend. So in that sense, it's going to be kind of the middle notes as well. It's not quite the bright citrus, but you can easily combine it well. So in that sense, it really blends well with a lot of the woods and a lot of the citrus. So we love doing cedarwood, frankincense, wild orange, cardamom together, using it kind of in the fall now. You could add some cassia in there, clove. So again, kind of going for more of those herbals. You could go for like a Tunisian garden and do some cinnamon and clove with cardamom and coriander. So yeah, but I really like it. Again, kind of going for woods, cedar woods and sandalwoods, or frankincense is your base, and then maybe like tangerine or wild orange to hit those top notes. And I usually do a drop of cardamom in my blend, a drop or 2, because again, it's one of those ones that could easily overpower all of the more subtle flavors.
Yeah, cool. Well, just jumping into some other applications for cardamom. So Jesse mentioned it's part of the ginger family. So think anything internal, digestion, stomach, and especially if you're having trouble with maybe what comes out.
The evacuation, you know what we mean? And that's whether it's you're having trouble evacuating or you have too much and it's too loose. Cardamom can help either way. Or just kind of calming things down if you're sort of overeaten, you're low digestion. Cardamom is definitely a great way. You can either rub it on topically or take it internally. That'll help there.
That's right.
It is in doTERRA's Passion blend, which I was given this Passion. This is the pre-diluted touch roller bottle. Safe for kiddos, ready to go. If you don't want to have to worry about blending and measuring and filling your own roller bottles, this is a great way to do it. So when I first smelled Passion, it's the inspiring blend. Thinking about motivating and inspiring, or if you're just needing a especially creative session here and you want to get a little bit of inspiration. And when I first smelled it, it's pretty strong, and it was not my favorite. So what I did is I just kind of set it over here on the table, and I ended up using it when I was kind of sitting down for my quiet God times in the morning. I'd roll a little bit on, and it has become the scent to me that is sort of helps me to enter into that time of worship. You know, scents are so nostalgic. They have so much ties to emotional health and stuff that it's kind of become the one that sort of triggers those thoughts like, okay, now this is the time to focus, and it helps draw me in. So my encouragement to you, whether it's Passion or any other blend, is one, to have them around your house. Like, have the oils around your house so that you'll use them. Have them by your bed so that when you wake up first thing or when you go to bed last thing at night, you just, put them on and go. Have them by where you study, have them in the shower, have them upstairs in the kids' rooms. So do that. But then if there's something in particular that you are loving, like, have it and use it to help carve those new neural pathways to create good patterns and good habits. Because it'll totally, they'll totally, and I'm not a person who normally does that, so finding that it really does work that way has kind of blown my mind a bit. I'm more like okay, this is the thing, this is what I need to use it for, and these are the benefits I get, and so expanding my repertoire.
Scents can just trigger memories, but they can also be ingrained in habitual or ritual events, so definitely good suggestions there.
Okay,
so I think,
other...
No, I think we hit everything, just kind of a bit of a recap. You definitely cooking, but just that inspirational self-control, awareness, bath uses, and digestion. So Get in those comments. Let us know anything we didn't talk about or hit.
Yes, this is not one that I remember to use very often. So like I would definitely love some more ideas so that we can be using our cardamom.
Yeah, or even if passion, like Jessie kind of gave you her story with the passion oil. If you've got a story, share that as well below. We'd love to hear that.
Yeah, we always love hearing how you guys are using and loving these oils, or your personal experiences. So
otherwise, we'll see you next time for Cassia.
Cassia, thank you so much. You ready? No, you guys go.
Yeah, with my teeth clean.
No.
I'll take real.